It has now been a year since a desperate act by a Zephyrhills High School junior. Driven by despair, Zachery Gray did something that raises questions the Pasco school system refuses to answer. His parents came to us for help. Tonight, in an 8 on Your Side investigation, reporter Mark Douglas reveals what happened to Zachery Gray. And we should warn you, there are some graphic and disturbing elements to this story.
Zachery Gray was supposed to graduate from high school next month. But instead of a diploma, his parents hope Zach will learn to walk and talk again. 4 days a week, he goes to a rehab center called the Chamber of Hope for hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
It's okay, buddy.
A year ago, Zephyrhills High School suspended Zach for a prank. That same day, his parents say, other students taunted Zach about his weight and his sexuality. He went home and hung himself. His mother performed CPR.
It was hell, because everybody was pulling me away. And I just wanted to save him. It was horrible. And then to find out that he was being bullied at school and nobody called me. They'd known about it for months.
Ironically, Zach's high school girlfriend says he reveled in school spirit. He was even the school mascot. But his mother says in the emergency room, while his survival was still in question, teachers told her how students taunted Zach with hurtful names.
Gay Zach, fag, queer, nonstop every day.
He couldn't walk down the hallways without somebody saying something to him. I mean, how can you go through school like that?
Zach's parents demanded an explanation. The school system interviewed one teacher who said Zach told her about the gay taunting. She told him to ignore it, and that was that.
They're supposed to report that to the principal. They're supposed to call the parents.
Family attorney Robin L Allweiss says it's the law.
It must be reported and then report it to the family.
Zach's parents say teachers only told them after Zach hung himself.
They say it was hell for Zach. Pure hell.
They say Superintendent Heather Fiorentino promised them a full investigation. That was a year ago.
They won't return our phone calls. They won't even talk to us anymore. And that's sad.
The superintendent's office says Pasco high schools average about 1 bully incident every 2 years or so. They've recorded 2 such incidents here at Zephyrhills High School so far this year, and only 1 all of last year. Do you think that's accurate?
I have to be honest, I think that's ludicrous.
Dr. Roy Kaplan is a sociologist and retired USF professor who wrote a book on how schools breed frustration, anger, and violence. Kaplan spent 15 years teaching tolerance in area schools, including Zephyrhills High. He says bullies are everywhere.
It's a very serious issue, and it accounts for hundreds of thousands of absentees every day in the United States, and misery.
Tony Gray knows all about the misery.
You can look in his eyes and he knows you're there. He'll smile at you, but he can't hug you. He can't say, I love you. He'll cry when you leave the room. It's hard.
Zach shows small signs of improvement from his therapy, but his parents say he will never be the same again. Meanwhile, the Federal Department of Education has just stepped in during the past couple weeks to begin a civil rights investigation to determine if Zach and other students were the target of bullies because of gender issues and whether the school system ignored that problem. Gail?
And Mark, I understand that Pasco schools actually told the state they only had 28 incidents of bullying among their 89 schools last year. So that might suggest that this is an isolated incident, you say.
Very doubtful based on what we've seen. We've been getting calls from a number of parents who say that their kids are targets as well. And we know of another boy in another Pasco high school who committed suicide last year just hours after 3 boys pinned him down on a school bus and simulated a rape. Now, students in that case say bullies picked on that boy for months and called him gay, even though he also had girlfriends like Zach. But there are no bully reports for that school either. And believe it or not, half of the schools in Pasco County reported 0 incidents of violence, bullying, threats, drugs, vandalism, or any other kind of serious misbehavior last year. Gail?
Well, we certainly know even at a national level, this is a huge problem in schools with kids, and that just has to be addressed.
It's a problem everywhere, and the problem in Pasco County is the numbers just don't add up.
And it can't be ignored.
No, absolutely
Something
not.
has to be done. Thank you, Mark. If your child is the victim of bullies in a Pasco County school, Mark would certainly like to hear from you as well. You can find him on Facebook. Just use your smartphone to scan the QR code on your screen or follow @Mark Douglas on Twitter.